Hello everybody, Mr. Quick here, talking today about Eureka Math / Engage New York Math, Module 2, Lesson 8, Dividing Fractions and Mixed Numbers. So far, just as a quick refresher, we've divided fractions by other fractions. We've divided fractions by whole numbers. We've gone back and forth on that. Today, we're going to look at dividing fractions by mixed numbers. And it may look intimidating. It may seem like, oh my gosh, another step. It's really nothing to be worried about. I'm going to show you how to do it right now. Okay, let's look at this word problem from Eureka Math. Carly has 4.5 walls left to paint in order for all the bedrooms in her house to have the same color paint. However, she has used almost all of her paint and only has 5/6 of a gallon left. How much paint can she use on each wall in order to have enough to paint the remaining walls? Well, we see obviously our two numbers that we're working with here. Okay, this is one of those ones where you really have to think about what you're doing. Is she dividing up 4.5 walls by 5/6 of a gallon of paint, or is she dividing the paint she has left amongst those walls? That's the one right there. Right? She's painting with this much of a gallon left. So she has 5/6 of a gallon remaining. Now, she's got to divide that up. Does she have enough for the other walls, right? We're going to divide that up and see. So she's dividing that amongst the 4.5 walls. So we have 5/6 divided by 4.5. Well, normally you might be thinking, well, can we do our keep, change, flip? We can, but there's another step in between. We have to convert 4.5 into an improper fraction. So if you think about it like this, think about mad. We multiply the denominator by the whole number. We add the numerator, and then the denominator stays the same. Multiply, add, denominator stays the same. 4 times 2 is 8. Plus 1 is 9. Denominator stays the same. So now that we're not done, but we've changed our problem from 5/6 divided by 4.5 to 5/6 divided by 9/2. Now, we have not done the keep, change, flip yet. We've just converted our mixed number into an improper fraction. So now what we're going to do is we're going to convert. We're going to keep 5/6 the same. We're going to make the division multiplication, and instead of 9/2, we're going to turn that into 2/9. We're going to multiply straight across. 5 times 2 is 10. 6 times 9 is 54. I see these are both even, so I can divide them both by 2. 10 divided by 2 is going to give us 5. 54 divided by 2, you can do the math, but it's 27, and that is in simplest form because there's not another number that goes into both 5 and 27 equally, except for 1, which obviously doesn't count. So Carly can use 5/27 of a gallon of paint on each of the remaining walls. That's how much she can use on each wall to be able to paint them. There you go. Let's look at another problem, another example here. Okay, we have 2/5 divided by 3 4/7. Okay, first things first, we're going to convert this into an improper fraction. So we're going to use our multiply, add, denominator stays the same method. First we're going to multiply. 7 times 3 is 21. We're going to add 21 plus 4 gives us 25, which is our new numerator. Denominator stays the same. Bring down the 7. So now our new problem, 2/5 divided by 25/7. 3 and 4/7 and 25/7 are the exact same thing. They're equivalent. It's two different ways of looking at one thing. So now we can do our keep, change, flip now that we've converted this number into this number. Okay, so we're going to keep 2/5 the same, change the division into multiplication, and we're going to flip 25 sevenths into 7 25ths. 2 times 7, as we multiply across, 2 times 7 gives us 14. 5 times 25 gives us 125. I have my answer, but I want to see if it's in simplest form. So I'm going to show you. I haven't shown you this, except we've talked about it in class, but I haven't shown you this in a video yet. So I'm going to look at 14. And I'm going to I'm going to make a little tree here. I'm going to see what numbers go into 14. I know 1 times 14, 2 and 7, and that's it, right? So to be able to simplify this, I have to be able to divide it by one of those 4 numbers. 14 obviously is divisible by all of those numbers. 125 divided by 1, we can't use 1, right? It wouldn't change the number. It would just be the same. 125 is not even, so can't use 2. And then, so now we just need to see if 7 or 14 goes into 125. This is how I think about it in my head. 7 times 10 is 70, and then I can just count them from there, right? So to get from 70 to 125, I would need to do, let's see, that would be 55 in between, and 7 does not go into 55. 14 is just twice 7, so counting by 14s would be like counting by 7, 14, 21, 28, except you'd skip every other one, right? So it'd be 14, 28, 42, 56. So it's just the same as counting by 7s, except you would skip every other one, and that also will not go in. So this ends up being in simplest form. Our answer to the problem is 14 over 125. Okay, let's do at least one more example here. First things first, we've got 2/3 divided by 2 1/5. I've got to convert this into an improper fraction. So we're going to do our multiply, add, denominator stays the same. Multiply 5 times 2 is 10, plus 1 gives us 11, denominator stays the same. So now, same problem, a different format, but same problem. We're looking at 2/3 divided by 11/5. Now we can do our keep, change, flip. Keep 2/3 the same, change division into multiplication, and flip 11/5 into 5 over 11. Multiply straight across. We've got 2 times 5 gives us 10. We've got 3 times 11 gives us 33. And that is actually going to be in simplest form, so that's our answer. Okay, we'll do some more practice in class. We'll talk more about these concepts in class. Hope that makes sense to everybody, and thank you for watching.